Good morning. Well, at least it's morning where I am. My name is Sarah, and I'm sitting in my kitchen in San Diego, California. And like everybody else in California, I am securing in place or in quarantine basically as we try to control COVID-19, a virus making its way around the country and the world. I don't know where you are, but most people have had their lives changed in some way, usually closer, shutting down, not doing as many things due to this virus. Luckily, I'm able to keep working from home. Like most people in California, I have to work at home. I am a coder. I work for a company that teaches coding, and we create materials through code and teach through code. It's very meta, which is why our company is called Meta Coders. Today, what we're going to actually do is start a little bit of coding, teach you guys how to code. So we're going to watch a video by my coworker, Steven. We will try some stuff that he tries, and then we'll also, in the second part of this two-video series, we'll learn a little bit more about how to learn better, how to take notes, actually, to be specific, so that we learn better, because when we are better learners, we're better coders. You're better at anything you do, whether that's school, traditional school subjects, or you're picking up a new instrument or learning a new skill like how to draw, trying to become a better runner, be better at your sport, whatever it is. If you're a better learner, you can become better faster at anything you want to do. So it's a really important skill. Let's go ahead and start this video and see what Steven has to say.
If you've spent any time trying to learn how to code, you've probably used Scratch, or at least seen it. I'm going to spend just a few minutes on Scratch before I break it. This is the cat. That's the default cat. You can make the cat move if you have a move instruction. I'm just clicking that move instruction to make the cat move. Easy peasy. I can make it rotate as well. Okay, very nice. Move or rotate, either one, doesn't really matter. By the way, do not commit this to memory. Do not write it down. We're not going to use any of this after a few minutes from now. Here's a loop. Here's a loop. Here's a loop. If I put the rotate instruction inside there, it does it 10 times. And so it has kind of an animation. I could make it 100 times, or 1,000 if I wanted. And now he'll spin for even longer. If I click this one while it's going, they kind of double up, so it spins faster. It can be a lot of fun. This is a nice sandbox, but I want to point out that it is a sandbox. In this video series, I'm going to be teaching you how to think outside of the boxes that people try to place you in. I'm going to steal this tiny bit of code from this other educational page about how to use CSS
I'm going to disappear right now.
And I'm just going to find one little piece of this page, the place where I write the code, and then basically I'm going to change the code for that. So now it's rotated. I wonder if I could make it spin in an animated way with JavaScript. Well, here's a post about making something spin. I'm able to find the part of this that I want, and I am going to copy it, and I'm going to go over here and paste it. Notice it gives a warning that tells me that if I'm not a developer, I shouldn't be here, and that's true. That's the sign that you're leaving the sandbox. But I'm a coder, and I'm allowed to walk out of any sandbox I want. And to be perfectly honest, so are you. You don't have to stay in any educational box that somebody puts you in. I'm just going to find the part of the page that I want, and I'm going to give it a name. Naming things allows us to affect them with code. And right now I'm giving it the name Bob. So now I'm just writing a line of code that finds Bob, which is actually a part of the page, and I'm making Bob spin. So the part of the page where you write the code to make the cat spin is something that I just made spin by moving outside of that sandbox and using a more powerful tool.
Okay, so I paused this here because Steve went through that pretty fast, and I want to show you how to do exactly what he did. So I'm going to go ahead and get out this video, and I'm going to open up a new window here. And I'm going to go to that same thing that, same website that Stephen went to. Here we are. How do you make something spin using JavaScript? So you can actually use what Stephen used, which is called the inspect, your browser inspect on any page. So I'm going to use this page right here. How I'm going to open it up, we're going to go through this together. So go ahead and open up a browser window if you like. You can even do it in this browser you're using right now to watch this video. I'm going to right click on something on this screen, for example this box. I'm going to click inspect. That's going to open up this window. There are also keyboard shortcuts to open it up. You can look up to see what that is on your operating system. And I can even see on this tab here, I'm on the Elements tab. Everything on this page is an element. So I can find a specific thing. For example, this box is an element. Inside this box, there's something called code, which is an element. And inside that code, there's lots of little things. All of those things are elements. If I want to make this whole box spin, let's call it this, I can run around what's cool is I can highlight exactly what I'd like. So if I want anything inside this, nah, I'll do this whole box right here. I'm going to add that ID. So I'm going to double click right next to the first word there, class, type in ID equals, and without space, put the name. For example, Jane. Put a space there and then hit enter. This is what Stephen called naming something, right? We got to name it before we can start changing it. So that name popped to the end there. It's still there. You can see it right there. The next step we have to do is find the code that we want. It just happens to be here. I'm going to grab from set interval all the way down to that semicolon right after that 1 in the paren. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to go into the console. This tells me a bunch of different things going on. I don't need to know everything that happened when this web page loaded, so I'm just going to get rid of that by clicking this thing to clear. So I'm just starting fresh. Paste this in here. The next thing that Stephen changed was object. I don't want to just say object. I have to tell it what I want exactly. I want document, and then I want to, what document? I want to get an element. Again, as I said, everything on that page there, this page is an element. I want to get it by ID, and what is that ID? Jane. Then I can hit enter, and we're going to see that spin. Cool. But let's just not stop here. What else can we do? So let's say I want it to spin a little slower. First of all, here's something that's cool. I can always refresh the page, and all of my changes are gone, which is really great if I made a mistake or an error like I've done a few times. But also, it means this is just something to play in. It won't stick around. You're not actually changing the website for anybody else who looks at it. You're just changing your view. So let's find something else here. Let's maybe spin this box here instead. Or something inside here. Now we'll do this whole box. So again, we're going to walk through this one more time. ID equals, give it a name. I'm going to call this one, is this what I want? Yes. I'm going to call this one Boxy. There's my name there. Going to go into the console, clear that out. Oh, it already has this in here because I pasted it. But it's not Jane this time. I called it Boxy. Document, get element by ID, put the name in there. But let's say I was spinning a little bit too fast. I want to rotate by 1 degree. That's just what I think will make a change. I'm playing around with it. Yeah, so you can see it's spinning a lot slower now. Here's another cool thing you can try. I happen to look around a little bit more, searching around this style transform, and I know that I can add rotate Y. Let's have that by 1 degree. See what happens there. Whoa, now we're rotating in 3D. What happens if I rotate maybe X by 10 degrees? Whoa, okay, so this is really cool stuff. Again, just playing around, and we're outside any sandbox. This is exactly what you do as a coder if you're working on a web page, you're building it, and you're like, that doesn't quite look right. You could actually open up this inspect, start changing elements, start messing with the console, see what you like, and then go change your code to represent it exactly as you want. So we're going to go back to the video here. I'm going to go ahead and stop this from happening. Pause this. Okay, all right, so we're going to go ahead and go back to that video here. Pardon me. Pop it on up here. And then we are going to keep seeing in the second part of this video, actually, I'm going to pause this video here. In the second part of this video, we're going to keep watching this video and see what else Stephen does in the code, and then get back to that note-taking, that learning that we talked about earlier. See you in the next part.